So one of the first and simplest opportunities is simply to strike our opponent after we've parried. So I began by inviting my opponent, and each of the fundamental positions, both the low and the high ward, are invitations by virtue of the fact that they leave the point a little bit offline and have one set of targets that's accessible. So when I'm in this high ward, I am leaving my staff off towards my right. It's the height of my head so I can defend, and I'm inviting Greg to attack towards my center line where I can make the forehand defense. So as he does so, I set him aside with that firm, crisp forehand defense, and then I immediately follow on with a thrust back to Greg's head. I want to make these come together as close as possible. So they are almost bouncing off of the parry right into the counterattack. Make sure, though, that you make the parry before committing your hips into the attack. Now, here's a very important part of practicing this. If I have my staff too close, so I don't present much of an opening, so here is where I want to be, here is only a very small opening, then when Greg attacks, I'm not going to get that same expulsion that I want. So I succeeded in the parry, but I have contact. So we're in contact. It's called gioco stretto here, narrow play. If I make a thrust towards him now and he's recovering, it's easy for him to simply set me aside again. So I want to expel his staff. So I've got to make sure I have more space, enough room for me to generate some force. So as he attacks, I can beat his staff point aside, and that leaves me room to strike, and it makes it a lot farther for him to come back and make a second parry. The same thing can be done in the low ward. So here, especially if Greg chooses to attack away from the forte of my staff and in towards my thigh, same idea, except I counterattack into his thigh as my response, because it's going to be the fastest and most efficient counterattack. I can roll up to the high guard. There I do it with a very nice turn of the hands. If I can do this quickly, I can catch him before he's recovered very far. And if he made his attack with his staff low, it's a lot harder for him to make that subsequent parry.